Hello and welcome to another First Impressions video brought to you by MMO Play. Today we're taking a look at an upcoming free-to-play game. It is not quite what you'd expect. This is more of a third-person shooter style, but it's more of an economic-focused game. In fact, the gameplay is probably a little more like EVE and Ultima Online, where it's a lot more sandboxy and economy-driven. Therefore, the initial gameplay is going to start off very slow. You're going to have to really work your way into the game. So instead, the game is going to be in the background while I'll talk about some of the mechanics of it. This is called Arkadia Storm. It is a new free-to-play sci-fi third-person game. Actually, you can play in first-person. So the main thing is, this is a very economy-focused game. This is not the game if you're a hack-and-slash fan. If you are more interested in creating items, a robust crafting system, and the potential to make some real money in the game, this might be something worth looking into. So the first thing is, there is a in-game currency called PED. 10 of those translates to $1 US. That's right. There is a direct translation. There is a real way to buy in-game currency, sell in-game currency, and get money out of the game if you're really into it. Controls, kind of typical WASD movement. One thing that kind of got to me a little bit is E is jump, not interact. And in fact, spacebar, the usual button for jump, swaps you between aim mode and directional mode, which we'll get into in a little bit. So it's just something that kind of happened to me a lot, and I wanted to make sure people knew about it. But other than that, for the most part, it plays a lot like a normal shooter with third person, because I prefer that over first person, and so use WASD. Another thing is you have a tool equipped in your main hand. So at some point I'm going to grab a sword, maybe grab a little bit of a gun, maybe some sort of usable harvesting tool. And when you click on it, left click, it'll use it. Right click will move you to within range to be able to use it. This only works while you're in aim mode, which it's a lot like aim mode's a lot like Terror, where you move in a direction, you kind of use your reticule to move. You can actually hit N to switch between your reticules. And then there's the other mode that's a little more traditional for MMO players. You can hit space to switch to that. And you can use your panning and all that. One little trick I found is if you auto-forward, which is kind of hard to do. So you double-click to move to an area, and then you will go into directional mode, pan around. It'll auto-forward you. So if you're kind of moving around a long distance and you don't want to have to deal with that, it's something that'll help out a little bit. The game does use in-game voice chat. It's optional. You can turn it off. You can also have push to talk. Thank you, developers. Something that a lot of developers have been forgetting lately is push to talk. Death is not permanent. You'll res at low life, and you can regen it. And you can also hit T, which will just kind of send you back to the terminal, and it's a good way to deal with being stuck. So thankfully they dealt with stuck issues. There are rebindable keys. They're a little bit awkward. For the most part, I found that you can only rebind your hotbar keys, which are towards the top left, and those are kind of just shortcuts for actions. And now for the meat of the game. This is not a traditional hack-and-slash game. This is more of a, like I said, economy-focused. There are 3 ways to approach it, and they call them professions. They're the hunters. These are the guys that get stuff by killing animals, kind of like this. So you get weapons, you get armor, you go out and you kill things. This is more of your adventurer style. There's also the Hall of Fame for killing big creatures, which you'll see a lot in the chat in the bottom left. But you rely heavily on gear and gearing up and killing stuff. Then there's the miners. These guys are the ones that go around gathering stuff. So you don't have to actually go and kill anything. You can just go mining, and it's not too bad. You get a manufacturer or a mining tool or some sort of laser to go around, and you find nodes in the ground, you grab them, and there you go. You got gathering resources. And the third are manufacturers. These are the crafters. They take resources and they create stuff. It's actually kind of an in-depth process. There's a skill system, which you gain skills from using them, a lot like Ultima Online for some of us older school gamers. So how do you craft something? Well, first you get a blueprint. You can get those from a technician terminal. You can get them from manufacturing. You can kind of learn new blueprints as you create stuff. And you can just buy them and sell them with traders. They're not buying on Grab or whatever. So then you get your blueprint. You put in your blueprint book. You get your items that you need. You open your book. You find the correct correct item, you go to the manufacturing interface, and then you manufacture something. So you craft an item, you can go and sell it for PED, and boom, there you go. So if you're a fan of crafting in games and you really are not all that interested in another hack and slash MMO, then maybe the system is good for you. It looks like a really in-depth, lots of skills. It also seems relatively slow-paced, so if you're not a fan of games that are kind of slow to boil, maybe you might want to try it, but it might burn you out. Another thing is there's quantity and condition. As you craft more stuff, the condition, the quality of your item actually does go up. You will create better items, so kind of makes sense. As I brew a cup of coffee in the morning, I get better at making coffee every day, so I make taste better every day. Works in game too. And then you have to go find the manufacturing terminal, go build an item, and there you go. So you have the hunters, go out and kill stuff, get items, there you go, boom, I sell it for PED, and I can use that to either get better items, or I could use it to make real money if I want. And you just kind of have this trinity of classes that works together to create items and bring items into the game. And for the most part, it seems to be, this is not going to be your cheap game. I almost think it might be something like Second Life, really. Second Life seems to have a kind of really economy-focused game. If that is your thing, you might want to check it out. It's available for free. It's called Planet Arkadia. Although, if you're really going to get into it, chances are you're going to probably want to be dealing in some PED, so you're probably dealing with some money. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to more. Hope you like the game. Check it out, and stay tuned to more. Look, a quest.